friends, I'm Simreaper and welcome back to another speed build. Today's speed build is a little bit special. I was watching Deligracy's channel a few days ago, and she did something a couple months ago that was called a floor plan challenge, where basically you just look up a floor plan on Google and then you try to recreate that floor plan in the game and pretty much decorate it and make it look nice. So I chose this very rectangular floor plan as like a little bit of a challenge to myself. I liked the fact that it had a courtyard because I love like courtyards and gardens inside of houses. And this one's like not technically inside the house. It's kind of half inside, half outside, but I just really loved the look of it and I wanted to give it a go. And I appreciated that the floor plan included, which rooms were what rooms and then where the furniture was placed, because that gave me a pretty good idea of how to decorate this house. So yeah, I started out on this lot here in, oh gosh, I don't even know what world this is. But I ended up moving it to, whatchamacallit? Oh, Del Sol Valley. Yeah, that's the name of it. Because it's just, this lot was too small for it. I wasn't able to put in a driveway. Like, how can you have a garage and not a driveway, right? So I'm just starting out here, like trying to get the basic layout of the house. And I'm having a little bit of trouble. Things aren't lining up exactly like the floor plan, and it's kind of bothering me a little bit. But I think in the end, I end up getting it pretty close. As close as I believe I possibly could. So yeah, here at the front, because there's like a little tiny courtyard in the front too for the entrance, and I was trying to figure out, oh, here's where I moved to Del Sol Valley. There you go. I was trying to figure out what I should do for the entranceway. And I put a little fence there, but I ended up changing my mind and doing like a half of it as just like a wall, which you'll see here in a little bit. And here I am just like putting in the driveway and the front landscaping. Now, the front landscaping doesn't really fit with the Del Sol Valley world. I wish that I could edit that little part that's off the lot and put the dirt and pavement there too, but unfortunately that is not something you can do in this game. And then here I'm figuring out the wall colors that I want to go with. I changed them a few times, but the theme stays pretty much the same. So we have like the dark gray brick sort of feel on the left and like a dark wood on the right. So that won't change. Like the actual colors themselves will change, but they will still remain dark gray and brown. And here I'm going back to the entranceway, figuring out what to do. I'm not really liking anything that I'm doing. I'm just thinking and brainstorming, how can I make this look good? And I did something kind of weird at first here with the roof. I just kind of put up these half walls all around the roof, and I was like, yeah, that's good enough. But I ended up hating it, which you'll see a little bit later here. And yeah, so that's the wall, the little entrance that I ended up going with. I just put like 2 tiles of wall there. And then the real entrance is a little bit further inside. So I kind of imagine that like that's like a wall that you can, pull out so that you can close it completely. That's kind of what I imagined. But yeah, so I pretty much went with that. And then I really wanted to put this house on foundation because like it has a courtyard, with like a little deck and seating area with it, and it would just be weird to not have it on foundation. But then there's also a garage attached to the house, and as you guys know, you can't have a garage on the ground floor and then have a foundation and have it attached, you know what I mean? So that really bothered me. In the end, I ended up putting it on like the lowest little foundation, and I just kind of reconciled it in my head as like, well, maybe when they open the garage door, there's like a little tiny ramp that comes out so that they can drive up into the garage. And Whether that's realistic or not, I'm not sure, but it's just what I had to do in order to make this build to my liking. So yeah, here I am changing the wall colors again. This is not what I go with in the end, but just interesting to show you guys the process, see how many times I change my mind. And yeah, this roof looks terrible. I don't know what I was thinking with the half walls. It's just, ugh. And here I am kind of like laying out the design of the little courtyard here, and then changing around the layout of the house a little bit. And this is the first room I start with. This is the master bedroom here. And I'm kind of following the floor plan as well as window placement as well. And I do that for the whole build. And in real life, like window placements are so weird. So like the window placements on this floor plan are just kind of weird, you know? Like in The Sims, like most times, especially like I know when I build, I try to place the windows and make them like in good areas and make it look good. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but it's just real life houses don't have the most ideal window placement, I've come to realize. And yeah, here I am changing the wall again, trying to figure out what I want to go with. And I believe there's only one more change after that, at least for the gray side. I end up hating this wood that I went with, this wood tone, so that will change. But yeah, so here I am again going back to the courtyard, and I don't know, I thought like those little glass things kind of fit with the design of the courtyard, so I just put those up there. And I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I'm trying to find something because I have those little half walls there, and I'm trying to find something to fill it up at the top so it looks like it's a nice flat surface. So I ended up using those pavement things from Get Famous, and that worked out pretty well. And here's where I put the house up on the foundation, and I have like the little, I guess you'd call it a deck, I'm not sure, just surrounding the courtyard. And yeah, so here I don't know what I was doing. uh, I assumed that there was like a wall there when I looked at the floor plan, I guess, but I just was like, well, then I have a whole, if I put a wall there and close off the house right there, then I have a whole right side of the lot that's not being used. And that was just not good with me. I wanted the courtyard to like sort of open up to the backyard, or it's not a backyard, it's like a side yard, but yeah, I wanted to sort of open up to the yard and everything to be nice and accessible. And here I am just going in and adding the windows to the courtyard, and then I realized that my dimensions are a little bit off, so it won't, like the windows wouldn't fit in exactly, so I had to again go back and change the dimensions of the rooms and the floor plan. But this, I believe, is the last change I make to the actual dimensions of the floor plan. And yeah, so the inside framework, the skeleton is already decided, so now we just have to work on decorating. And here I am trying to do the same thing I did with the little half walls on the bottom and try to, you know, make a makeshift roof, I guess. But none of them really fit, and the colors was just weird, so I ended up deleting them. And you'll see what I do about the roof here in a second. See, I'm trying so hard to just make it look good, but it's not gonna work, and I think I realized that here soon. Yeah, here I am putting in an actual roof in the middle of that, and it just looks so silly. I deleted it right away, but I think it's kind of fun to show you guys, you know, the amount of mistakes that I make when I'm building. Like, I don't just go in and make everything perfect from the start, you know, there's a process to it. So if you guys get discouraged when you're building and stuff just isn't looking right, just keep at it, you know, just change everything until you like it, pretty much. It can be a little bit frustrating sometimes, I understand, but you just gotta keep at it. And yeah, so that's the stone wall that I ended up going with in the end. And then I didn't like how the wood tone fit with it, so I will change that in a second. What am I doing here? Um, I have no idea what I'm doing here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm just putting the little ceiling on here so that we can have some lighting around the courtyard, which I think looks nice, very nice. And yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, just moving around a lot apparently. I think I was just looking at what I have made so far and assessing it pretty much. And then I decided to fence in the whole thing because this is Del Sol Valley, so you know, celebrities like to have a little bit of privacy. I would have put a gate there at the front, but there's none that really fit. Like, you know, like one of those gates that you can open up and you can drive into your driveway. And actually, adding the fence really helped tie in the front landscaping and make it look a little bit more natural because before, as you saw, it didn't fit in with the surroundings a little bit. So the fence really helped with that. I did put in a pool there at the back, which kind of looks a little lonely and sad right now. But once I finish the backyard, you will see how good it turns out. It's just the pool by itself, I understand, looks quite sad. But yeah, here I am going and changing the wood tone. I love the wood tone that I ended up using. I feel like it fits so much better and it looks so much nicer. And yeah, that's pretty much what I went with. And then here I'm making the garage look more like a garage. And with the black foundation, it almost kind of looks like, you know, it's just like a regular garage that you can drive into. That's not like raised up a level. So that was really helpful. And then I'm putting in wardrobes for those two rooms there because as you can see in the layout, there are wardrobes. Unfortunately, I couldn't get it to where there were two wardrobes for each room there. And here I am finally going in and putting real roofs. I mean, flat roofs nonetheless, but real ceiling tiles on the roofs. And I ended up having to raise the stone portion. Well, not raise it, but I ended up basically making a second floor. And if you go in the game, you will see that there is a entire second floor that's just empty. I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to expand this house, you could add a staircase and build in like a second floor. But I really just made the second floor so that I could have a roof. So like the bottom floor is medium-sized wall height and then the top floor is just the regular short wall height. And I did that basically so that I could sort of fit the style of the house. And there I just put in a gate to the yard. I like how in The Sims 4 you can just put a gate by itself and you don't necessarily have to have a fence. That helped me out a ton. And I can't really see what I'm doing here because the floor plan's in the way, but I'm apparently just assessing again. I do that a lot when I'm building. I will stop and like assess for a while. And I was experiencing a little bit of trouble with that, as you could see, but I finally got it to do what I wanted it to. And yeah, so I'm going in and repainting a little bit of the areas that got unpainted. And I've had quite a few tiring days lately, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds kind of different than usual. I have been using my voice a lot lately. So yeah, I put that tree there, but I believe I end up changing the tree that I put there. And then I put the little door from the garage to the courtyard. Let's see. And originally the front entrance was going to be open from the roof, but then it didn't really make sense, so I ended up closing it in. And here I am going ahead and starting the furnishing of this house. So I'm starting with the master bedroom here, which I end up changing quite a bit from what you're seeing right now. That's just how my process always goes. I start with something and then I'm like, and then I just change everything. So it's kind of interesting to watch myself and my own thought process. There's actually also a walk-in wardrobe for the master bedroom, of course, which you can see here. Excuse me. And yeah, I put a little vanity in there as well so that, the girl who lives there can do her makeup and just get nice and pretty for the day. And this is actually replacing the Bailey Moon house. And I currently have them living in this house in the save that I am working on for my channel. So I am making a build save. I am making a save for the channel where I basically go in and renovate all the EA lots and then put in some of my own lots. And I also am making over the townies, of course, all base game and pack. I'm not using any CC to make over the townies or make any of the houses or anything like that, so it will be available for anyone to download. The only downside is that you will have to have the same packs as me, but I'm getting a little ahead of myself. The save is nowhere near done. So it's gonna be a while before that comes out. But yeah, here I had Thorn test some things for me because I put that curtain over the door there, and I wondered if the Sims could actually still use the door, but they can, so don't worry about that. Your Sims will be able to still use that door, so that's good. I didn't actually know that that was a thing, that you could just place a curtain over a door and the Sims could still use it, but I'm so glad that I know that now, because I like having the curtains in there, like for privacy, or like when they go to sleep at night they can just pull the curtain shut and they won't have to worry about the sun barging in and waking them up in the morning. And I made the little ensuite bathroom there. And then this bathroom is actually for the kids, which you can see that the kids' bedrooms are already furnished there. And you might be wondering, wait, when did that happen? Well, apparently I'm stupid and I furnished the kids' room without recording. I actually furnished the living room and kitchen without recording as well, apparently, which really frustrated me because that was like it was such a cool part of the house to furnish and work on, and I really wanted to show you guys that. So in the future I will be more careful about making sure that my OBS is recording before I do anything. But yeah, I'm just putting in the little reading nook here. As you can see on the floor plan, they also have a little reading nook there. And I think that is such a cool idea to just have like a little reading nook like in the hall, like at the end of the hallway like that. It just fits so well. And I like the fact that it's right next to the kids' bedrooms. And you'll see that there's like a little homework area, study area that I end up putting in the hallway as well. It's there on the floor plan, so it's not like an original idea that I had, but I just like the way that it looks so much, and the kids can just sit there and do their homework, and it's awesome. So yeah, I'm just trying to like figure out the decorations that I want to put in the hallway, and at this point I haven't realized yet that there's a reading nook on the layout, so I'm just like putting in like those little decorations there, but those end up getting removed entirely so that I can put the little nook in there. And you can see here the living room, dining, and kitchen that I already built without recording. But there's actually 2 living rooms in this house. There's this one over here, and then there's one in the little nook over on, well, you can see on the floor plan, it's right by the garage is the second living room. I really like the open floor plan of this house. I never really do open floor plans. Like, I'm a really boxy kind of girl. Boxes make me feel safe and feel like, I don't know, like I'm in control. Whereas open floor plans, you have to kind of tackle very carefully or they just look tacky. It's really difficult. But luckily I had the floor plan here to kind of guide me as to where to put the furniture so it ends up looking nice. And I am a sucker for everything black and white, so most of my furnishing decor schemes are always going to be black and white. Well, I wouldn't say always, like maybe eventually I'll like leave my comfort zone a little bit and start putting in different sorts of color schemes. But we'll see. That's a problem for the future. And you can see here I'm putting in the little study nook where the kids can just kind of sit and do their homework. And this is probably my favorite part of the house. I've never done something like this in a house, so I'm really thankful for this floor plan challenge to kind of introduce this concept to me. So I'm definitely going to be using this in future builds, I think. And I think it's so perfect that it's just right outside the kids' rooms. It makes my heart so happy. I'm a sucker for things like this in The Sims, and I'm just sitting here imagining like playing a household with kids and having them sit there and do their homework. I put like the little erasable whiteboard there, and I end up putting like these little cork boards there so they can put their postcards and stuff on that. And oh my goodness, guys, like I cannot stress how much I love this part of the house. And there's another bathroom over here, which I thought I was working at. Yeah, okay, I'm moving around so much. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, here I am just working on the third bathroom, and then I go and change the rug randomly. As you guys will notice if you've watched any of my other speed builds, I tend to jump around a lot. I am very random at building. Like I have a really hard time just focusing on one area at a time. So I'm sorry about that. But all the bathrooms pretty much, they have the same walls and floor tiles and the same sort of decorating scheme. And I think they look really nice and warm. And they give me like a really clean feeling. So I like that a lot. And I'm sort of just decorating the entranceway there. There's like this weird like square hallway off to the side there. I didn't really do much with it because I wasn't sure what to do with it. And this room here is, on the floor plan it says it's either like another bedroom or a study. So if you want, like an extra bedroom or just like a guest bedroom, you could refurnish it for that. But I ended up making it into a study, and I felt like that was needed in this house because yeah, they have like the little study nook over there and the kids like have their own computers, but there's not actually a computer in the master bedroom. So I feel like this would be, a study for the parents where they can come and use their own computer. And again, I'm going with a sort of black and white theme. I don't know, maybe it's just I'm not very good at colors. So black and white is like the only way that I can really make something look good, like at least in my opinion. So yeah, just lots of black, like more black than white. Like I especially just love how black looks. And yeah, so I finished with the study room. I was trying to put like a little piano in somewhere because there's no like pianos or guitars or anything in this house. I just couldn't find the space for it, but I'm sure that you guys can. If you download this house, you can put in whatever you want. You can change anything that you want, so that will be good for you guys. And here is the second little living room over here. I put a fireplace in this one, just to distinguish it from the other living room. And I remember the house that I grew up in, it also had a fireplace in the living room that kind of it's like right next to the garage, right? My living room was right next to the garage, and the fireplace was on the wall that coincides with the garage. I don't know if that's how it is in most houses. I know that's how it was in my house, so I thought that a fireplace fit perfectly there, and so I put one in there. And yeah, so I'm just adding the finishing touches to the rest of the inside. And here I am doing the laundry room. I don't usually have laundry rooms in my build, but since it was part of the floor plan, I went ahead and put it in, and I put a few hampers around the house as well. And I had a really, well, yeah, I guess that works. I had a really fun time decorating the laundry room. I'm pretty organized and clean in real life, so I love making like organized, like clean spaces in my Sims game, and I never knew that I would enjoy making a laundry room so much, but it was it was one of my favorite places to make, but the study nook I think takes the cake. That was the number one favorite for me. I do end up putting a woodworking table here, so we do at least have some skill building items in this house. So that was good. And I like that it's in the garage because I feel like it sort of fits the. I feel like most people, if they do any woodworking, they would do it in the garage, right? So that's why I like that it's in the garage. And then I'm just adding some decorations to the inside of the garage to make it look a little bit more like a garage. And I think I'm done with the inside. So here I am going and adding some finishing touches on the outside of the house before I move on to the yard here. And I wanted to like fill up this blank wall here on the outside, but you'll see what I do with it here in a second and make it look a little bit better. Um, I don't know what I just did there, but I was messing with some of the options apparently. And yeah, so here I'm just trying to decide what to put in the courtyard because I didn't like that it was just like this green square pretty much. I wanted it to be filled with something. I feel like it just needed to be filled with something. So here I am. I still couldn't decide, so I'm just like going around and jumping around doing everything else so that I can sort of go back to it later. And here I am going back to it. And I ended up putting this pond from Get Famous there because I felt like it fit the space perfectly and just looks so cool for a courtyard. And I put a bunch of plants around it, just to make it fit in a little bit more. And oh my gosh, it looks so amazing, at least in my opinion. And yeah, so I wanted there to be like greenery around the pool. So there's only, cause like it was just kind of weird to have like the empty space around the side and the back of the pool. At least I thought so. And then I'm matching the terrain painting in the backyard with the front of the house and just trying to make everything look nice and uniform and orderly. And I'm going back and changing the colors of the curtains and yeah, trying to figure out trees, but I didn't like to have too many trees in the backyard. It felt like it didn't look very nice. And yeah, so I'm kind of playing with the idea of putting a hot tub there in that little square part, and I think it ends up looking great there, so I kept it that way. And then putting in pool lights. If you guys have watched any of my other speed builds, I'm a lightaholic. I love lights, especially on the outsides of my house. I just love to light up my houses at night and make them look nice and warm and inviting. Oh, and that's what I ended up doing with that little empty patch of wall. I made a little basketball court, and there's a little kids' playground there in the corner as well. So the kids that live in this house have a nice little area to play, and I love that I had the space to include all of that. I would have used the toddler play stuff too, but one, there's not really a toddler room in this house, so that wouldn't make sense. But also, the colors on the toddler playground stuff are just kind of gaudy to me, and I feel like they wouldn't match with this build at all. Like, they're just way too colorful for this build. And yeah, just doing a little bit more landscaping, and then I'm left with like another like square, like another green empty square. there on the right of the basketball court, which is already bothering me at this point. So I do end up putting something there, and maybe you'll see that in a second. I actually stole this idea for the lounge chairs from, oh god, who... I'm trying to think of the YouTuber that I stole that idea from, but I can't think of her right now. Oh my gosh, if you are that YouTuber and you watch this video, please, tell me in the comments. But yeah, I loved that idea. You basically use the move objects cheat to make the lounge chair with the, I believe it's the perfect patio set. Yeah. Because something that's always bothered me about The Sims 4 is they don't have lounge chairs for like the pools. And they've had that in pretty much every other Sims game, so like, why not The Sims 4, right? But I love that, whoever came up with this idea, that you can actually make your own lounge chairs. And they actually look like lounge chairs, and they look so comfy, just right by the pool. And I think this build is almost done. Yep, the last thing I do here is just putting in these gardening boxes, because I do not like empty space. So I just kind of filled it up with these gardening boxes, and I figured, it'd be cool to like be able to garden this house and stuff. So yeah, we're coming to the end of the build. The screenshots are coming soon. So with that, I'm gonna leave this off here, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this build, and I do post every single day. Oh, but before I get to that, this build is on the gallery under SimReaperYT, so you can download it. No CC, but I did use move objects. But yeah, that said, guys, I post videos every day, so I will see you tomorrow. Bye!